Okay, so here's the session with Nacho that was about 30 minutes long. I have condensed it all down to 5 minutes. So initially, when we first get started, I lure him over to the side to show him which side of me he should be on so that he's not sticking out into the aisle and getting in the way of people trying to move around, and so that he knows where the food is going to be coming from. I use the lure in the beginning to show him where he needs to be, and I use it anytime there are people moving by where I need him to be out of the way. But as you'll see in a little bit, as long as it is safe for him to do so, I give him the freedom and the opportunity to try to figure out where he is supposed to be himself. That way he is the one choosing to come be on my left-hand side in order to get the food there. So it's like this puzzle he has to figure out of where do I need to be and how do I need to be behaving in order to push the food button and make the food come out. The more we practice this, the less I'll need to use the lure to get him to be in the right spot. But for now, he needed the lure quite a bit to make sure that he wasn't going to be getting into too much trouble. Right here, he needed a little bit of a play break, so we took it. He needed some snuggles. I let him get some of those wiggles out. This is perfectly okay. Because at this point, he had already been working for quite a while. We didn't start doing this until we had already been in the store for at least 30 minutes. So his brain was already pretty fried. A little play break isn't the worst thing in the world. But one of his goals of trying to sit in my lap was actually to get more food out of me faster. He kept trying to eat the food in my hands while he was also trying to wiggle and pretend he wanted to cuddle. So he is actually the one who moved off to the side on his own, and I was able to start rewarding him there again, which is great. That means he's learning. He's starting to figure it out. And then here you'll see I'm still luring him off to the side because he keeps wanting to sit directly in front of me or on the other side of me next to my treat pouch so he can try to sneak some treats out of there on his own. But for his own safety, I need him to be off to the side, and so that he can't self-reward by digging into my treat pouch, I need him to be on the other side of me that doesn't have my treat pouch. So right here, as he settles down, you'll notice I'm not rewarding him for being settled. I'm not using the same high rate of reinforcement that I was using when he was off to my side. I do reward him here for this good choice of rolling onto his hip and getting more relaxed and more settled into the position he's in, because I do want him thinking that relaxed is what we're going for in this training session, but I want him to choose to be relaxed off to the side of me where it is safe for him to stay and where he's not going to get in the way of people going down the aisle. So you'll notice, because I'm not rewarding pretty quickly, he hops up, and then he moves himself off to the right side, and he gets significantly more treats in that short span of time that he was off to my side where I wanted him to be than when he is in front of me. He still doesn't really want to sit still, so he hops back up again pretty quickly, tries to settle down in front of me so he can be closer to the treat pouch. I lure him off to the side again because they were coming through with that big thing that I didn't want him to get in the way of. But as much as possible, I am starting to let him make the choice to move to my side on his own, unless I need to move him to the side so that he's not in the way of people. This way, he is starting to figure out that being at my side and being relaxed is what gets him the most rewards. That is the best place to be. It's almost like a game of hot and cold. He is still getting some rewards for showing settling behavior if he's in front of me or if he's off to the other side of me, but it is significantly less than when he's on the correct side of me. This is also starting to teach him the idea of if we're sitting and we're settling, I need to be out of the way, which is a very important service dog skill to have. So the correct side to be on will change depending on what the environment around us looks like. But in this context here, it's off to my left-hand side. And they're just off screen. You can't really see them too well, but there's actually a ton of people standing right next to us. And Nacho does so well with it. I'm so proud of him. I then get my friend to kind of move the camera around so you can see the people that have been standing by our side for a little while now. And then right here, somebody approaches us to talk to Nacho, and I want you to notice just how much more food Nacho is getting and how much more quickly I am giving him food now that somebody is standing right next to him and trying to talk about him and talk to him a little bit. There are a couple of times where Nacho jumps up just a little bit, so I make sure to be really quick about the food, help him stay in the down position while somebody is standing right there and kind of talking to him, because that is a really big challenge, but Nacho handled it so well. The key to this is to be fast with the food. Somehow food ends up underneath me, so I kind of scooch to the side so I can push those treats out of the way, and we get settled back down again to do some more practice of settling. Nacho's brain is getting pretty fried by this point, but even still, he is doing a really good job and making the choice of being on the correct side of me so much more frequently with a little bit less help than at the beginning. I'm very proud of how he handled this because this was a very long training exercise for him. This was probably a little bit longer than I should have gone on with practicing the settling behavior, but he did such a good job with it. And by the end, he was figuring out on his own that he needed to be on my left-hand side and out of the way.